Let me ask you this. In terms of the 30-day deadline from Judge Engoron to pay this extraordinary fine that Jonathan Turley calls obscene, is that the case? Does he really have 30 days to pay this fine? And if so, there are some reports that he will sell off almost all, if not all, of his New York assets. What can you tell us about that?
No, I mean, I would never get into anything privileged, but I can tell you what the rules are. And within 30 days, even if we choose to appeal this, which we will, we have to post the bond, which is the full amount and some. And we will be prepared to do that.
Trump attorney Alina Habba has had to switch up from talking about how innocent and railroaded Trump is regarding the litany of charges he's facing to trying to relate just how he's going to pay his debt to society. So in order for Trump to even appeal this, he's got to come up with significant cash, while also racking up over $600,000 a week in pre- and post-trial interest. So Trump will have to hope his attorney and handlers are prepared to do that, even though she wasn't all that prepared to do anything during the trial.
Yeah, exactly, Eric. There were expert opinions that we didn't get to put on trial. There were decisions like that. And I have to address this one common misconception in the press. And unfortunately, it just keeps getting repeated, which is that we had this great option to have a box checked for a jury. No, we didn't have that. That's not how this works. They brought it under Section 6312, which is a very narrow, not appropriately used section of the law, which is for consumer protections, not this. And that is why we're sitting here in front of a judge dealing with values of property where real estate, anybody with real estate brains, anybody with real estate experience, even laymen can understand that a tax assessment is not the same as the market value of your property, period.
It seems like Trump's main requirements for legal representation included the ability to angrily rant on TV and in front of makeshift press conferences outside after getting your ass kicked in court. And considering the massive financial burden, making angry declarations appears to be the one thing that she does now.
But how much is the bond?
Well, it depends. So you have to break it up. So there were obviously individual defendants that got fined. There was the company that got fined. But you're looking at roughly, let's call it close to $400 million for something that he did nothing wrong. Look, it's no coincidence, and I'll say it. They know by looking at his statements of financial condition that this guy is worth a lot of money, billions and billions of dollars. And that didn't even include his brand, Martha. But what they're trying to do between this case, between my last case, is put him out of business. It's not going to work, number one. Number two, what they're doing is a scare tactic. Unfortunately, they picked the wrong guy to pick on.
They picked the wrong guy to pick on usually isn't a legal defense or a tangible plan to get over $400 million collected and handed over just to appeal this case. But it's been pretty apparent that the Trump team abandoned the possibility of actually winning in court, as his clownish criminal behavior was done without any concern about actually being caught. He sells his name and fails at business, which has led him to only being able to appeal to his minions of ardent supporters for both financial and sympathetic help. Of course, all this in exchange for watching him exact revenge over actually being held accountable for once.
Because he's strong, he's resilient, and he happens to have a lot of cash. Now, that doesn't mean that it's right. It doesn't mean it's okay. It's grotesquely insane. I was speaking to somebody today that actually mentioned that there are countries that literally make that in a given year in certain industries, countries in this world. But they would find somebody for what they call understating their statement of financial condition and making Deutsche Bank and Zurich, who, by the way, they still work with, money. But they're going to find him that kind of thing. It's absolutely insane. No, there will be no mayhem for the Trump organization, unfortunately. I know that probably was Miss James's goal and Judge Engoron, but that is not going to be the case.